Hi friends, how are you all? Today we will start our lesson number 5th. The writer of this unit is Nani Palkhiwala. Nani Palkhiwala, also known as Nana Bhoi Adiship Palkhiwala, was born 16 January in 1902 in Mumbai, India. He was a jurist and jurist means expert in law, and he was also an economist. He was educated at Master Tutorial High School, Mumbai. Then he joined St. Xavier College, Mumbai. He was an excellent scholar. He got his master degree in English literature. Then he joined Governmental Law College, Mumbai. Soon he became an excellent barrister of his time. He was also a leading interpreter of Indian constitutional law as well as he was an economist. This great Indian personality died on 11th December 2002 Wednesday. The following article was written by Nani Palkhiwala and published the Indian Express on 24th November 1994. The issue that he raised regarding the declining health of the earth continued to have durance. Uh, Go green means this unit explains how nature or our environment is important for us. Let's see what is in this unit. One cannot recall any moment in world history which is gripped the imagination of the entire human race so completely and so rapidly as the green movement, which started nearly 25 years ago. In 1972, the world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand. Since then, the movement has not looked back. We have shifted one house irrecoverably. Irrecoverably means in a way that cannot be changed or reversed. From the mechanistic view to a holistic and ecological view of the world. It is a shift human perceptions of revolutionary as that introduced by Copernicus, who taught mankind in the 16th century that the earth and the other planets revolve around the sun. For the first time in human history, there is a growing worldwide consciousness that the earth itself is a living organism and enormous being of which we are parts. It is its own metabolic needs. Needs means needs of a living organism that enables them to have a chemical process that cause food to be used for growth and energy, and vital process which need to be respected and preserved. We have begun to realize our ethical obligations to be good stewards, managed or looked after of the planet and responsible trustees of the legacy of future generations. The concept of sustainable development was popularized in 1987 by the World Commission of Environment and Development. It is reported defined the idea as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. That is the example without stripping the natural world of resource future generation would need. In the zoo at Lusaka, Zambia, there is a cage where the notice reads, the world's most dangerous animal. Who is the world's dangerous animal? We are, means human being. Inside the cage there is no animal but a mirror where you see yourself. Dear students, please listen. Who is the world's most dangerous animal? Only one human being. Thanks to the efforts of number of agencies in different countries, a new awareness has now dawned upon the most dangerous animal in the world. He has realized the wisdom of shifting from a system based on dominations, no one based partnership. Scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million living species with which mankind shares the earth. Estimates vary widely as regards the still uncatalogued living species. Biologists reckon means calculate that about 3 or 200 million other living species still languish means be forced to remain in an unpleasant place or situations, unnamed in ignominious darkness, deserving or causing public disgrace or shame. One of the early international commissions which dealt inter alia means among the other things with the questions of ecology and Environment was the Brand Commission, which had a distinguished Indian as one of its member, Mr. L. K. Jha. The first brand report raised the questions: are we to leave our successors or Scotsmen burn the surface with heat of fire? Planet of advancing deserts, impoverishments made poor, landscape and ailing in poor health environment. Mr. Lester R. Brown, in his thoughtful book, The Global Economic Prospect, points out that the Earth's principal biological systems are four: fisheries, forests, grasslands, and croplands, and they form the foundation of the global economic system. In addition to supplying our food, these four systems provide virtually all the raw materials for industry except minerals and petroleums derived synthetics. Synthetic means artificial substance. In large area of the world, human claims on these systems are reaching an unsustainable level, a point where their productivity is being impaired. Impaired means weaken or damage. When this happens, fisheries collapse, forests disappear, grasslands are converted into barren wastelands, barely inhabited piece of land, and croplands deteriorate, become progressively worse decline. In a protein conscious and protein hungry world, our fishing is a common very day. In poor countries, local forests are being declimated to reduce in number in order to produce means obtained with care for effort, firewood for cooking. In some places, firewood has become so expensive that what goes under the pot now costs more than what goes inside it. Since the tropical forest is, in the words of Dr. Myers, the powerhouse of evolution, several species of life face extinction as a result of its destruction. It has been well said that forests precede mankind, deserts follow. The world's ancient patrimony means inheritance from father, of tropical forest is now eroding at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year, and the growing use of dung for burning deprives the soil of an important nature fertilizer. The World Bank estimates that a five-fold increase in the rate of forest planting is needed to cope with the expected full world demand in the year 2000. James Pett, the president of the World Research Institute (WRI), said the other day, "We were saying that we are losing the forest an acre a second, but it's much closer to an acre and a half second." For instance, the Constitution says that casteism, discriminations on the grounds of caste, untouchability, and bonded labor shall be abolished, but they flourish shamelessly even after 44 years of the operations of the Constitutions. A recent report of the Parliament Estimates Committee has highlighted the near catastrophic depletions of India's forests over the last 4 decades. India, according to reliable data, is losing its forests at the rate of 3.7 million acres a year. Large areas officially designated as forest land are already virtually treeless. The actual loss of forest is estimated to be about 8 times the rate indicated by government statistics. A 3-year study using satellites and aerial photography conducted by the United Nations warns that the environment has deteriorated so badly that it is critical in many of the 88 countries investigated. There can be no doubt that the growth of world population is one of the strongest factors destroying disfigure the future of human society. That was the world population around the year in 8,800. By the year 1900, a second billion was added, and the 20th century has added another 3.7 billion. The present world population is estimated at 5.7 billion. Every 4 days, the world population increased by 1 million. Fertility falls and incomes rise, education spreads, and health improves. Thus, development is the best contractive. But development itself may not be possible if the present increase in numbers continues. The rich get richer and poor give life to children, which condemns condemns them to remain poor. More children does not mean more workers, merely more people without work. It is not suggest that human beings be treated like cattle and compulsory sterilized, but there is no alternative to voluntary family planning without introducing an element of coercion force. The choice is really between control of populations and perpetuations of poverty. The population of India is estimated to be 920 million today, more than the anti-populations of Africa and South America put together. No one familiar with the conditions in India would doubt that the half of the people would die in their hungry hutments unless population control is given topest priority. For the first time in human history, we see a transcending concern the survival not just of the people but of the planet. The environmental property does not necessity signal our demise. It is our passport for the future. The emerging new world vision has unshared in the era of responsibility. It is a holistic view in ecological view, seeing the world as an integrated whole rather than a dissociated collection of parts. Industry has a most crucial role to play in this new era of responsibility. Water transformation would be effective to more businessmen shared the view of chairman of DuPont, Mr. Edgar S. Woolard, who 5 years ago declared himself to be the company chief environmental officer. He said our continued existence as a leading manufacturer requires that we excel in environmental performance. Awful statements made by Margaret Thatcher during years of her prime minister, none of has passed so decisively into the current coin of English usage as officially fallacious words. No generation has free hold on this earth. All we have is life tenancy. With a full repairing lease, in the words of Mr. Lester Brown, we have not inherited this earth from our forefathers. We have borrowed it from our children. Okay, dear students, here we complete our unit. Okay, thank you.